everyone, this is Al. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me today. It is very, very, very dreary here where I am in Texas, so I hope it is beautiful and sunny where you are at. We are going over the April 12th paycheck, which is our middle of the month paycheck where we are able to pay the most bills within that time frame. And we also have a few updates that are going to change our strategy for the upcoming year. All right, lovelies. This is our spread for the month of April. And we did get paid on the 12th, and we will be covering everything that is in green. We do a bi-weekly paycheck, so we get paid every 2 weeks, which means we have to finagle our bills to meet each one of those pay periods. So we are focusing on April 12th through the 26th. Now I do have our mower loan, which is due on the 28th. I do have that marked green because this is going to be our mortgage paycheck. I do not want a lot of these bills that come before our mortgage to roll into the pay period that our mortgage comes out of, purely due to the cost of our mortgage. So it does take up the majority of one of our paychecks, not leaving much wiggle room extra to pay bills. So to minimize that, I do use the middle of the month's paycheck sporadically. This does not happen every month. I would say this happens, probably a few times a year. I'll have to finagle money to cover within the first month. Now I did try to change some due dates. I was not successful. Our month just kind of breaks down like this, where some months I will have to finagle money from one check to the other. Some months I just pay what is in my pay periods and I am fine. I try to stay as flexible as possible. I try to be proactive, and I'm always trying to do a month or at least a paycheck ahead. Doing a paycheck ahead for me means I've already looked at this month, and our third and last paycheck comes on the 27th. What comes after the 27th by just a couple of days? Our mortgage. So I know what is upcoming. I know what this bill or this pay period will look like just by mapping out my calendar for the month in different pay periods per color. I do follow a lot of the Budget Mom's recommendations. I do use the Budget Mom workbook. She does also have a YouTube channel. Highly recommend. This is how I got started. This is how I've been able to purchase our home. This is how I have been able to pay off debt, and this is how I'm able to get myself out of debt again. I don't follow her entire book. I would say at this moment in time, I probably will not buy a physical book going forward due to how much of the book I actually use. I only typically use her paycheck layout. So I will use her calendar, and I will use her budget by paycheck tracker. And I will use this section to write any notes that I have, any changes that I want to make. But as far as the rest of her month, I really don't use it. When we were buying a home, I used every single sheet. Her net worth tracker, her expense tracker, everything. And I did everything by the book. This is just something that got me started. I swear by it. But I did want to give a little bit of the background and reasons why I use her book and why I don't use all of it. Because I know that I only show a segment of her book on my channel. I don't really focus on any other sheets that she does offer. So if you want to know more about the sheets that she does offer, be sure to check out her channel, The Budget Mom. She's amazing. So I am not sponsored by her. I've never spoken to her. I just love her workbook and the effort that she put into it. It served its purposes throughout our different situations, and it is just something that I think I'm gonna stick with, but in a different version. So our income this pay period was $33.75. That was with a little bit of overtime as well as some little side hustles, $5 here, $5 here. It wasn't much, but we got $33.75 total. I did make all of the minimum payments on our credit cards, as well as all of our bills that were due within this pay period, including our mower loan that you saw that is technically due next pay period, but because we're paying our mortgage in that pay period, I'm gonna pay one of that future period's bills with this paycheck to lessen the blow. So that is something that I am being proactive with. Now, I usually have 2 columns on my budget sheets. I use her budget column as my plan A, which is my first plan of attack, right, all thoughts right out of my head. I will sit on it for a few days and then I will put the actual plan B. Plan B typically is usually more strategic, and these 2 numbers are typically almost always different. I let myself sit on my plan A to see if anything changes, if I'm able to make more money, a bill comes in different, I want to pull from this to pay this. Whatever my strategy is, I have a couple days to think about it before I start paying bills. So I paid all my minimums and I paid every bill that was due, including giving myself a $50 buffer. That gave me $2,337 was my bill total. Leftover amount was $1,038. I was able to put my normal $750 for my daily spending, and that would be our food, our date nights, which does include eating out, as well as miscellaneous and gas and fuel. I do say gas and fuel because my car takes gas and my husband's truck takes diesel. So we're not heavy drivers. In fact, my car has actually been sitting because I need new tires. My tires are original to the car when I bought it years ago. They are now dry rotted. So I have stopped driving my car until I can afford tires, which I will discuss in just a little bit. I am able to put the entire amount, so that left me $288. All of our sinking funds are only funded once a month, as well as our daily spending. Due to our mortgage being in the first pay period of the month, I typically run very lean on that pay period. So our variable expenses and our sinking funds are only funded once a month in the middle of the month's pay period. So I am putting all of my sinking fund bare minimums in here for home repair equipment, which does include our commercial lawnmower. Sorry if you're hearing my dog in the background. I do have a large German Shepherd puppy sitting in my living room. He's getting a little bit antsy. I do have animals that pays for all of our animal feed. This is probably the only account each month that will go back down to 0. I have garden and seed, cash, which goes into my cash box. If you'd like to know more about my cash box, you can watch my previous video from 3/29 that went over how I manage my cash box. Auto repair, life prep, and fencing. We do have half of our property, which is probably 2 acres that is not fully fenced in yet. So this is saving up for that. I was able to have left over $188, which is awesome because these are the 2 highest credit cards as far as percentage. About a month and a half ago, I did pay off this last credit card number 4. That is my Amazon card. However, we were forced to put cameras on our home for a few reasons, and that went on our Amazon card. So this is just what we are trying to pay off, and also our highest credit card percentage, which is 24.49% for the Amazon, and then we jump to 19% on the third card. which was already in progress. So I am able to put $94 each onto those cards, which I did also make minimum payments for. So this is an addition too. And that would leave me with $0. So that is how much I have been able to put on our bills and on our credit cards with our middle of the month pay period. So now we're going to see how much progress we made in our payoff trackers. So we have made quite a lot of progress in our payments this month. So what we are going to pay for is, one of them was our student loans. So I did not pay my auto loan this time. And I did pay off my student loans. All right. So last pay period, I had filled out the trackers and actually was able to color them in. I finally hit my 10% mark on all of my student loans. So I am going to go ahead and notate this payment, which is coming up on 4/23. I did actually already make this payment, so I'm just going to notate it. Now, I make one payment, but I have 3 student loans, so I'm just going to fill out 3 sheets. I did not pay any extra payments on our mortgage this month. I did pay off or pay a payment on our pest control, so I am going to, what color do I want to use? I am going to make 3 squares equals 1 payment. And then my mower loan is going to be paid this pay period versus next pay period. So I am just going to color in 3 squares, which will equal 1 loan payment. All right, so we were able to fill in our trackers. I'm hoping that I'm able to make extra payments in the next couple of months, but for right now, I'm just keeping it very minimal. And we're making progress on our student loans, which is fantastic. My lawnmower is almost 75% paid off. Whew. Once that's paid off, it gives us $282 back. So I am absolutely thrilled that we don't have that far to go. And now for some updates, shall we? All right, so here are some updates, I guess. Updates for us. But I did want to share just a little bit, as it does very much excite me. We did file taxes. I hope y'all did too. Don't forget, we were not expecting the refund that we are actually getting. That refund will be deducted, or actually what will be deducted is our balance. Y'all don't even understand my excitement. I am literally doing jumping jacks in my head, somersaults. I am so giddy right now. Oh my gosh, almost 8 years. Oh yes, never get in trouble, you folks. Never, ever, ever get in trouble. 8 years. 8 freaking years. So, if everything goes according to plan, and what I think is going to happen happens, it will completely wipe out, which would free up $318 a month. Y'all, this is huge. We did our trackers, making progress on my trackers, paying off things. Side hustle. I have been growing chicks that I hatched from my own flock. And it is also going to end up giving us some freezer birds, which are going to be all of our males. that I will put into the freezer, and that will be a huge help in the grocery budget, as well as it will give me residuals to make dog food from. That will also free up bones that I can make bone broth from. I do preserve some of our food, so I am able to can bone broth and basically use the entire bird. So that will have a little bit of an effect on our food budget and also our animal feed. So these are just things that I have in the works. I know I am not the typical gal on YouTube, I guess. We do preserve our food. I do make things from scratch. I do try to pull from where I can. For example, the organs for dog food, the bones for bone broth, using what we've got to make the most out of things, and make our budget stretch. So that is something that I'll be focusing on this year, and hopefully this goes according to plan. And we're paying off extra on our highest credit cards to get those down. And I am proactively anticipating bills that come in the next pay period. So I am proactive in that sense. And it doesn't always have to happen that way. It's just this month happens to be that month. So this is actually our April 12th budget and all the steps that we took to make it. I hope you all are having a fantastic month of April. Summer is quickly approaching, and with that comes summer prep. So I have a lot of summer prep that is upcoming, a lot of my seedlings that I have to now plant. I am starting to get cherry tomatoes for salads and things, and our chickens are laying eggs like crazy, absolutely crazy. I will show a picture above and show you. I literally have like over 8 dozen eggs sitting on my counter, and I am just going through them thinking, what the hell do I do with 9 dozen eggs? So I am trying to get creative, and I know our dogs are loving the eggs, and I'm currently baking eggshells for calcium for our birds and our plants. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I threw some tips and tricks in there. Hope y'all caught them. And until next time, I'll see you later, y'all.